The fate of the state's controversial EDA tax incentive program that doled out billions in tax breaks to businesses is up for grabs. Brianna Vannozzi is at the State House.
We have here 17,000 pages of emails from 2013 to 2016.
The meeting of the Assembly Commerce and Economic Development Committee started with the kind of theatrics only a Trenton hearing can. Activists disrupting testimony, dropping off boxes of alleged emails between the state's Economic Development Authority and the law firm Parker McKay. That's the agency accused of helping to write parts of the tax incentive program known as Grow New Jersey to benefit companies tied to South Jersey power boss George Norcross.
Until every single one of these emails has been reviewed by this committee, this law should not be extended.
But with the June 30th deadline around the corner, lawmakers have little choice, taking testimony on a bill to allow the program to extend for 7 months, giving the legislature more time to come up with a plan.
And we would urge the governor and the legislature to work collaboratively together to provide a temporary transition until a more permanent solution can be finished.
Let me say this: a state that lets its economic growth incentives lapse signals that it's out of business.
But Governor Murphy is poised to let the program lapse when it expires, pointing to a state comptroller report and the findings of his task force that show some companies falsified documents to game the system and increase their incentive awards.
These programs have been inefficient, they have been unaffordable for the state, they have been ineffective, and they have not always been the best investment.
Members of the committee heard from business lobbyists and think tanks on potential reforms, like the governor's idea for a hard cap on the amount of incentives that can be awarded in a year.
Why do you favor an overall cap on yearly expenditures rather than creating a system where we cap the support for specific projects?
No mayor or freeholder or anyone in charge of a government would have a line item in a budget that they did not know what that was going to cost them, right? And so we feel like it's very dangerous for the state to not at least have a cap, which really in our eyes is a budget.
Christina Renna of the South Jersey Chamber of Commerce told lawmakers her organization learned earlier this week 2 businesses with commitments to move into Camden City are pulling out. One cited the political climate as the sole reason.
Because it's an unfriendly place to do business, we need an uncapped incentive program to be able to have any tool in our tool chest to attract businesses to New Jersey.
With hesitation, both this and the Assembly Appropriations Committee passed the bill, sending it to the Senate.
I'm comfortable with extending it because I think that the choices that we now have put ourselves at backs against the wall give us no choice. But it was our own doing that put our backs against this wall.
Though its fate is all but certain, according to a spokesperson for the governor. The governor has always been inclined to work with the legislature on a new incentives package. This did not have to come down to an 11th hour vote to extend flawed legislation. During his first budget speech in March 2018, the governor asked the legislature not to wait until the last minute. If an extension of the current program is passed without the necessary reforms, the governor will have no choice but to veto it. Senate President Sweeney says he's prepared to lead a veto override if it comes to that, but there's another scenario here where the bill makes its way to Governor Murphy's desk and he simply does nothing, allowing the program to expire. And that's a power move that could lead to interesting negotiations. At the State House, Brianna Vannozzi, NJTV News.